Prusa will still be there later. Hell, if you wait a little while, you might even be able to get the upgrade to the Prusa that's coming out that allows you to use 4 different filaments through one nozzle, which is amazing. Let's see, because I'm impatient to hell. Hey, Jay. What does it say? Hey, Jay, come to the Dakar Psi. What is that? DAKRSI? Oh, I mean the AMD side. That's what he said. We have milk and cookies. Love you both and have a great day. Oh, no, Jared's an AMD guy?
I have cookies and milk downstairs.
Jared, I didn't know you're an AMD guy. God, we can never talk to him again. Just kidding.
The line has been drawn.
Yep. Liam M said, "Hey Jerry, how's it going? Same old, same old. G'day from Australia, sud dude.
Down under.
LTL FTD, long time lurker, first time donator. I like that. I'll go take that. I have a 2001 Subaru Liberty sedan, non-turbo. Should I install a twin turbo system or purchase a factory twin turbo one that has been written off and swap the drivetrain?" Honestly,
do we have Liberties here?
I don't think we have the Liberty here. We don't have the Liberty here, but if it's like the rest of them, like if it's the rest of like the WRX line, yeah, do a drivetrain swap. Don't just slap turbos on there.
I'm looking it up right now.
You're basically going to have problems snapping your control arms and all kinds of stuff.
What year? 2001?
That's a 2001 Subaru Liberty sedan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the other thing too is if you just slap turbos on it without doing any of the internal work on the motor, unless you're running really low boost, you're not going to benefit hugely from it.
They literally look like a Legacy with a WRX front end.
Oh, really?
They're long like a Legacy, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that that's probably based on the WRX chassis. And if it is, go get yourself an a totaled STI drivetrain. Will set you back. I don't know how much in Australia, because everything in Australia is $1 billion, but I'm sure it won't be that
definitely bad. Longer than a WRX. I don't know about the wheelbase. Maybe the wheelbase is the same, but the car itself definitely looks longer.
Interesting.
It might be the same length. Well, is the wagon the same length as the coupe, as the sedan?
It is, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, then it might work.
So yeah, no, but even if there's a turbocharged version of the Liberty and you could swap it, just check on the motors first, because I guarantee that the turbocharged version of it probably has a different compression ratio, and more importantly, probably has a stouter transmission.
I'm cracking up because it literally looks like from the driver's door forward, it's a WRX. From the driver's door, like the back of the driver's door rearward, it's a Legacy.
That's weird.
And I bet you right now that he's down there going, "What's a Legacy?" It's a Liberty.
I wonder if in Australia they have one that's like a Subaru Brat in the back, but in the front it's like an STI.
Oh man, do you remember when they had remember they tried to bring back the El Camino via the El Camaro?
Yes.
So it was a Camaro front end with the El Camino back end back in the early 90s. I was like, what the hell?
Have you ever driven an actual Subaru, like the 70s Subaru Brat?
Mm-mm.
It is the most gutless vehicle I've ever driven in my entire life.
Yes. A coworker back, like one of my first jobs had one. I had like 3 headlights.
Yeah, in first gear, I couldn't get it to go. Like, it was a pretty steep hill, but in first gear, with just me in it, nobody else, I slowly started going up a hill, and it couldn't go. It killed the motor.
No, you're right, because this same coworker also had a Geo Metro 3-cylinder that he was in love with and, like, sticker bombed it. That was his fast car.
Yeah, no. I to this day, I swear to God, I've never been in a car slower than the Subaru Brat. Like, I've never had a car in first gear not be able to climb a mountain. Let's see here. Ian Webb said, "Hey Jerry, looking to get my A+ certification. Any suggestions or thoughts?" You know what? I don't know I don't know how much water the A+ holds anymore, honestly. I mean, that's a really old certification, but I don't honestly hear about it a lot. I hear more about MCSE and stuff like that than I do the A+, even though I know A+ is more generic.
Yeah, it depends. Okay, so a lot of companies will, at least out here, will accept an A+ in lieu of work experience for like level 1 IT. And level 1 IT guys, you guys said this is like the grunt work of IT. You're not really doing any fun stuff. You're not doing any server work and doing any networking or anything like that. It's literally like your asset tagging stuff. It's just that dull.
Yeah, if you're going for a job as a network engineer, because I know the bulk majority of the A+ certification surrounds hardware and networking.
No, N+ is networking.
Oh, that's right. There is, well, the networking in the hardware sense, like how long you can run an Ethernet cable, you know, stuff like that. So I'd say the A+ certification is only worthwhile if your aspiration to enter the industry is as a hardware support or some hardware support role in a lab. Because honestly, all the software developers, all the testers that I hired at Microsoft, a lot of them had A+ certifications on their resumes, and I never even took that in as a factor when I was selecting candidates. for that role. Now, as far as a networking engineer, I'm sure that you'd probably more likely need that, but it all depends on what you're doing. If you want to get on the software side of things, go for like MCSE first, or if you want to do the hardware thing, go for the A+.
Let's see.
Well, the nice thing is once you enter the industry, like even if you entered as a network, because I entered the industry as a hardware guy. At Microsoft, that's what I did. I was a hardware support guy in a lab. That's all I did. Once you get in the door, then you can get the company to pay for your education. And MCSE isn't cheap. Neither Cisco or any of the other certifications. So at least A+ is the one certification that's not too bad to get. Like it's not super duper expensive. So if that gets you in the door in a lower level,
you can get A+. I think it's like $300.
Yeah, it's not an expensive certification. So I'd say, yeah, if you're confident you can just go in and nail it and don't have to keep retaking it and keep paying, then
a lot of companies that will accept A+, basically that's just proof that you know the basics. More so than just saying I know the basics, but I don't have any piece of paper that says I do. I took computer science in high school, you know? I mean, yeah, so that's basically all it's good for is an interview at that point.
Yeah.
But if you have to spend money to get an interview to make more money, then I guess it's worth it.
Here's the thing that sucks about certifications, and I know this because I used to interview a lot of people. One of my roles at Microsoft was actually interviewing people for the team, for the division that I was in. So I was in the interview rooms for full-time and for contingent staff. And I'd get all these people in that would have certifications on their resume. And I cannot honestly tell you that any of them that came in with the certification on their resume were any more knowledgeable than the people that didn't, that just did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. So I could see...
People who do it as a hobby tend to know more anyway.
It's true. It's true. So I see the certification is maybe moving you up higher on the stack in some companies as far as them just being a little bit more confident and wasting time to interview you. So that's a good benefit to have it. But as far as if you can get the interview and go in and nail it, they're not going to give a shit if you have that certification or not. If you can just ace that interview.
Yeah, well, people that do it as a hobby tend to know more because they follow their enthusiasm or their enthusiasm and their excitement for a thing, and then they kind of work their way through the entire genre, if you will.
I don't
people who go to people, and I'm not knocking people who go to school. I'm just saying from my own experience, when you go to school, you're on a track. You get to learn what they teach you, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, there's a sort of out of the box thinking that you obtain by learning things on your own versus just learning the same cookie cutter way to do things, going and following a school curriculum. But I will tell you this. I mean, a lot of people ask me where I went to college. I didn't go to college. I dropped out of high school, got a GED. I don't hold a single certification even to this day. Even though Microsoft offered to pay for me to get the MCSE, I never did because I never needed it. I mean, everything I was doing was just fine. I was already kicking ass at my career. So you can excel without that stuff. But I will tell you right now that depending on the person at the company that's sorting through the resume pile, if it's a company that has more people applying for the jobs than jobs available, that certification is going to put you higher in the pile. So it's by no means a guarantee that you're going to get the job. Aaron Marcus, actually, this is a good one because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this too, Jay. He said, "Hey Jerry, loved your video." Yeah, I finally released a video, guys, after over a month. I'm getting back into it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I got to do a really cool experience last night. He said, "Me and my wife are trying out our homemade version of the tank by laying naked outside Minnesota." What he's talking about is a sensory deprivation tank. And
been watching a little bit too much Stranger Things, have you?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I got to do it last night. But in all seriousness, we tried.
Did you go to the Upside Down?
I did. And somebody, you know what's funny? 3 of those comments on the video already. Did you see the Upside Down? And then somebody was like, "Did you find the the
Demogorgon?
Demogorgon."
Sorry, I just finally got to binge watch Stranger Things and catch up on it.
Such a good show. Such a good show. Waiting for season 2.
See the teasers?
No, I haven't. I'm not even gonna look at them. I want to go into that blind. So what happened last night is I have a lot of back pain. You guys already know this. I've talked about it before. I have to take medication daily for my back. And so a friend of mine on Facebook that I haven't seen him in like 2 years, he messaged me and said that he's been doing this thing called floating, which, you know, you think, okay, go into pool and float on your back, same thing. No, I found out it's nothing like that. There's a place about 30 minutes from my house that does this thing called floating. I mean, it's literally just floating. And what you do is you go into this thing called a sensory deprivation tank. And I did
Sounds like a drug.
Yeah, it kind of is in a way. You feel like you're on drugs anyways. So you can watch the video on my YouTube channel after you guys are done with Tech Talk. I just released it today. But anyways, you go into a room that's sound isolated, and then you get into this giant pod that has 200 gallons of water, and it's about 10 inches deep. And they have 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt dissolved into the water. So the water is almost like syrup. It's still the consistency of water, but when you feel it between your fingers, it's got like it almost feels like lotion. It's very
It's not high school cafeteria salt.
No, and it's not like hard water like when you go to like a hotel somewhere that's running off city water. It's the softest water you've ever felt. What you do is you get into this tank and you float on your back, completely relaxing every muscle in your body, and the salt in the water makes you so buoyant that you can lay on your back with your head completely relaxed in the water and put your arms completely above you and you won't sink.
Like, yeah, because it's heavy. Yeah.
It's so you like if you push your leg down and let go of your leg, it just bobs back up to the surface. That's how buoyant the water is.
No, I mean that's how buoyant you are compared to the water.
Yeah, no, but here, yeah, exactly. Fair enough. So the density of the water is much higher because it has the salts in it. So you get in this tank and you close the lid on it and you can't hear anything. You can't hear drops of water, nothing. It's completely sound isolated and it's dark. So you're inside of this thing for an hour. And what happens is the air inside of the pod heats to the exact same temperature as the water, and you lose the ability with your skin to determine where the water's touching you and where it isn't. So you suddenly just feel like you're floating almost in a free fall. It's the weirdest thing. And then you just stay in that state for like an hour. And so I did this, and during my hour, my brain slowed way down. I stopped thinking about things. I couldn't get to sleep, but I was like, what?
I wanna see you with a slow brain.
Dude, I know, right? All right, I went from squirrel to raccoon.
Did your voice drop too when it happened?
I was afraid to talk, dude. I was like, but all I can say is, hey, if you were on drugs and you went into this thing, hey,
in my drug
if you took drugs before going into this thing, you'd probably just freak your shit out, like, or have the best time ever. I could.
So you gotta take like some LSD right before you go in there.
You drown. You just trip balls and die. So I'm laying in this thing
face down.
And what it allows you to do is, when you lay on a pool and you float on your back, you still have to have some muscles kind of tense, to kind of, and you have to change your breathing to stay afloat. In this thing, you just let everything go. You relax your entire neck, your entire back, everything, and you just feel like you're on a cloud. And then after about 10 minutes, when your body adjusts to the air and water temperature, you no longer feel the water, and it just feels like you're in a giant open infinite space where you can't see anything or hear anything, and you're just floating. And then your mind just starts kind of getting intense.
I imagine you're in like the Lego movie with the Elliot's empty head when they went into his head to see what he had ever thought of in a creative thought. It's just like this empty space you're floating around in.
That's exactly what it's like in the Simpsons episodes when the world gets destroyed. They're just floating in the whiteness.
No, here's what's gonna happen if I did that. See, I'm all streamlined right now, right? I've got a process, I've got a procedure. I work a lot of hours per day, but I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it. It's just very, very analytical and very well thought out. I feel like I'd come out of there and be like, I'm going to Fiji on a life quest. And then you wouldn't see me again for 2 years. It's like I'd come back with a beard and be half the size I am today, and I would go, I have found myself.
Well, I didn't even know I was lost. I talked to like 2 or 3 people while I was there, and it was pretty obvious that this thing turns people into hippies. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I was definitely getting the hippie vibe. Even my friend that told me to go, he was even like, "Oh man, I'm on total new wave hippie movement." I was like, I'm not really expecting a lot from this, but I will tell you this.
Did you leave a floater in the floater, man?
I should have. Somebody asked if I farted in there. I was like, you'd kill yourself.
I imagine how big the bubble would be. Like, you'd see the bubble because it would take time to move through that.
Dude, it would probably push you out of the water. You'd fart and roll up your back and push you up out of the water.
Little brown bubble.
So anyways, when you're in there, you have an emergency button you can push if you have like a panic attack and then somebody's busting into the room and like save you. But they say that never happens. Well, why do they have the emergency button? But the one thing I will tell you is my takeaway away from it, and this is why I want you to try it if you can ever find one of these, Jay, even if you go once.
Hell no.
I've always had back pain. Always. Like, even when I take my medicine, I still have back pain. I still have stiff back. I have a hard time standing up perfectly straight. The second I got into that thing, it took me about 10 minutes to relax. When I relaxed, I couldn't feel any pain anywhere in my body. Not in any of my joints in my hands, not in my wrists, not in my lower back. It was gone.
because your brain disconnected.
Yep. No, but when I got out of the tank, it lasted for almost 4 hours before the pain started coming.
Listen to me. These are the same excuses drug addicts use.
I am a drug addict. Have you used that excuse before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Multiple times.
Anyways, it was pretty badass. I'm going back though. I'm gonna go back like 2 or 3 times just to make sure that it's not all in my head. But it was a pretty awesome experience. Like just being in a place where there's no sound and you can have your eyes wide open and you don't see shit. It's cool. It's a neat experience. I'd say everybody should try it at least once. But I wasn't expecting to relieve my pain like that. Like I've never.
Look.
I'm not used to not having any pain. That was
Listen
a
to me.
weird sensation.
I'm not gonna gateway float to hardcore float, okay?
I just want you to try it once so you can tell me if you liked it or not. Just once. Come on, Jay. I'll come down there and we'll just have one day. We'll go have a man date and go do some floating. We'll bond over a hot bath, a hot salty bath.
Can you float face down?
No. And and that's the other thing I need to tell you is the salt content of the water makes it burn like fire. If you shave, you have to put petroleum jelly like over. I didn't do that, and I got in the tank and they like fried my neck. But I just wiped it off and I was fine. But yeah, you do not want to get that shit in your eyes or in your mouth, dude. It's like, it's
shitting in your
crazy
eyes
salt.
and mouth is bad, okay?
Very bad.
If anyone took anything away from today's show, it's don't shit in your eyes and your mouth.
Don't shit in your eyes and mouth. You'll be fine. But no,
That's how you get pink eye, kids.
Honestly, you know who I'd like to see do it is Boogie. I messaged him on Twitter. I don't know if he got my tweet or not, but I was like, Boogie, if you got a place like this next to you, gotta go try this. Because it's crazy. It's like when your body can completely relax. It's like, doesn't matter how much pain you're in, your body just finally goes, meh. And just lets go of it. I just wish it lasted like 4 hours. I was pretty pissed when I went to sleep and I was like, oh shit, my back pain's back.
So for anyone that doesn't know, I am personal friends with Boogie on the side. So I say this out of just love for him, but is the tank big enough for him?
Yeah.
What happens to the water that you displace?
It goes over the sides. No, just kidding. No, it's a huge tank. I can get in it. Even me, I'm 300 pounds. I can get it and put my arms almost fully out to my side, like and not bump into things while floating. I think Boogie'd be like perfectly fine. They say on the website that they've tested it with up to 350 pounds, but they think it could go far beyond that. Like that's just the biggest dude that they had to test it with. But they're big.
But okay, but Boogie's like 520. That's like almost 45% more than they've tested. So I mean that he would have to have a specialty tank.
Yeah, they do have them. They have the tandem tank.